I think we see some points in this one. It's wild to me. I feel like those primetime under trends, they're not as prevalent this year. Like I need to back up
Yeah.
my math with saying that, but I feel like despite quarterback play being down across the league, we're still seeing like quite a bit of scoring, at least in this last week, where maybe things are reverting. So I think we see some points here. As far as the side goes, I don't know. I feel like both these teams are kind of similar to me, in which I feel like they have the potential to beat some high end teams, but
Hmm.
they also have the potential to lay an egg at sometimes too. So, do you have a feeling on a side here, a total? What jumps out to you?
Gosh, nothing. I really don't like this game. I don't know if I'll bet on it.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a strong case for either side, which is what happens when you have a point spread of a point and a half. I like the way the Buccaneers are playing right now, but they're so evenly matched, and it's a division game, and the Falcons are at home. I can see them pulling it out. This is a true coin flip. I'd love to be able to make a case for either side, but I just can't when it comes to matchups. This is one of those games where I would try to find, and I'm not a prop person, but when I don't like a
Mm.
total, when I don't like a spread, I say, okay, what do I think is the game script here? Maybe I would look at a prop, and I think that's what I would do here.
Yeah, I think the one that sticks out to me is I think Bijan Robinson is probably in store for a big game. Not only is he a good running back, we
Hmm.
also have seen Tampa Bay kind of struggle to defend the run. Last week, Saquon Barkley only 10 carries, rushed for 84 in that one. Also, I believe the Bucks have given up the 6 rushing touchdowns on the year, one of the highest marks of any defense in the NFL. So I think I'm going to start with Bijan. And I know you're a Texas guy, so maybe you'll be on the Bijan train with me as well. As far as the early slate goes, we have some solid matchups, starting with the Jets and the Vikings. So the Vikings laying 2.5, a total of 40.5. And we know the Jets are coming off an embarrassing loss to the Broncos. But again, it should be noted there was terrible weather in that game. And
Yeah.
I feel like at some point the Vikings are going to lose a game. Is this it?
I don't know. And I kind of like the Vikings again. And I feel like I'm being such a square saying that because I feel like everyone and their dog is going to say, oh, it's the Vikings minus a field goal, which is what I'm saying. And the Jets are due for a win. But I think there's a real problem right now with Robert Sala and Aaron Rodgers. And we're starting to see this play out just a little bit where the Jets had all sorts of problems with the guys jumping off sides. And then the thought was, okay, is it Aaron Rodgers and his cadence? Because he's been famous throughout his entire career. I believe more than any quarterback, more than any active quarterback, he has scored touchdowns or thrown for touchdowns on free plays, like 18. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
part of his game, but the Jets haven't really adjusted to that. So Robert Sala was addressing that after the game. And also, the Jets defense hasn't really exploded. And the one thing about the Vikings I will say is this: we keep focusing on Sam Darnold. And absolutely we should, because he's having a brilliant season. Right now, he's an MVP candidate. However, that Vikings defense has been really good. Brian Flores
Yeah.
has done a great job putting that defense together. The real secret is that Minnesota is a complete football team. And so at some point they're going to lose. It's in London. It's early. You never know what's going to happen. But I would lean Vikings.
Yeah, right now the Vikings lead the NFL in sacks. That pass rush has been really good, and I feel like if they can get some pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and most notably get him down, because we know he's pretty uh, good under pressure,
Yeah.
but still, if he's on the ground, you can't be good at completing passes. Should be noted that this game is in London, though, and I feel like automatically that means I don't really want to bet on it. I feel like these games are always kind of weird unless you're playing the Jags. So it's just one of those games that I don't know. I feel like it just makes things kind of weird. So I won't be betting on that one. Let's go to the Ravens and the Bengals next. I almost put this in my teaser, and we'll be getting to my teaser legs next segment here on the show. But this is a divisional matchup. The Bengals have been a team that's obviously kind of hard to trust this year, only one win on the season. But again, a divisional
Hmm.
matchup. Usually the AFC North battles are usually pretty tight. Total in this one is 51, though. I was kind of surprised to see a total that high. Ravens laying 2.5 points. Do we think this is a close game?
It should be. These games are always pretty close. Kind of
Yeah.
like the Ravens, though. Man, I feel like I'm being such a square today because money has come in a little bit on Cincinnati. Here's the thing, though. I'm trying to think about game script again, and the Bengals have a really hard time stopping the run. Like they're
Yeah.
not great on the defensive line, and that plays exactly into what the Ravens want to do. Don't they want to hand the ball off to King Henry and then have Lamar take off? So to me, I need to see Cincinnati step up and be able to stop the run, and that's exactly what the Ravens want to do. So it's strength versus weakness. This number is short. I think I would lean Baltimore here. Need to do a little bit more research because there's always things I feel like that maybe I miss early in the week. But at below a field goal, I would lean Baltimore.
Yeah, at some point, I feel like I have to stop looking at the Bengals as a team from years ago because I feel like there are clear weaknesses with this Bengals defense that you can't ignore. Like you said, against the run. And right now, I feel like the Ravens' rush attack, them and the Lions probably have the best run games in the NFL. So that's not a great matchup if you're looking at the Bengals defense. So I'd be with you on the Ravens there. I do think, well, I almost put it in my teaser leg, but obviously that would be a different line. That would be 8.5. Let's go to the Browns and the Commanders. So, Jenks, do the
Yes.
Commanders keep it going here? My goodness, I did not think that I would see that the Commanders would be 3.5 point favorites. I think when we started the season, the Commanders were only favored like in a few games. So
Hmm.
now, not only they favored, they're favored by more than a field goal. Are you willing to put your faith in Jane Daniels for another game?
Yes, I am. This is already on my pick six card this week. I'll play it at 3. You can still find it at 3. You have to lay a buck 20, whatever. I believe in the Commanders right now and the fact that they can just outscore you. They scored on, was it 15 consecutive drives over 2.5 games before that streak finally ended? And here's the thing, when you think about Jaden Daniels, you need to think about the rest of the offense. They have Brian Robinson in the backfield, who has been a horse. I don't know if they're going to get Austin Eckler back, but he's been fantastic. They have Zach Ertz at tight end, who has been reborn this season. They have Terry McLaurin, who finally has someone who can throw to him. And with all of that, you have Cliff Kingsbury, who is just in complete simpatico with Jaden Daniels. That offense is a thing to watch. They still have a lot of weakness on defense. There's no question about that. And that secondary will cost them a game or two at least as we get further and further into the season. But I'll tell you something. Deshaun Watson has not been good for the Browns. The Commanders have a lot of momentum, and they can score points. Jaden Daniels is the key, but he's unlocked everything else with Cliff Kingsbury at OC. So I'll gladly take the Commanders -3. Yeah, let's do it.